25, where we are professional here in the main studio, regardless of what's going on in the control room at the time. Worldview, Tube's Washington report. All right, we're glad to have you with us tonight. Jim Path is with theconservativecaucus.org, theconservativecaucus.org. You know, when your 22-year-old son and all his buddies work for your company in the control room, you never know what's going on in there, but you do hear from time to time, and the laughing and the jokes, but we keep it all professional out here. But man, it's actually kind of a fun job to have all these young kids around because they don't let you take yourself too seriously. Can I tell you that right now?
They're not even as mature as Sydney Sweeney.
This is one of them said, that's for sure. This is 3 nights in a row he's brought her up, Logan. 3 nights in a row Jim has brought her up.
You started it. You're the one that said.
I'm sending you a poster. Logan, let's see if we can get online and get an autographed poster. Can you find
Hey, wait a minute here. I wasn't even ever going to talk about her. You're the one that brought it up that night.
That's true. That is true. It's true. Oh, man. All right. Let's see. Here, President Trump. Look at this, Jim. Look at this.
To do that, your authority to do that based on a 1977 law, it's never been invoked before. Why didn't you invoke this law?
Well, we've been winning all along.
I just want to ask you, why didn't you invoke this law in your first term? You could have taken in billions upon billions of dollars in your first term, but you waited until your second term.
Yeah, because in my first term, I was fighting lunatics like you who were trying to do things incorrectly and inappropriately to a president that was duly elected. And we did do certain...
Taking on lunatics like you. Does anyone know what network he's with? What about you, Jim? Do you know? I don't even know who the guy is.
I can't quite tell who it is there. I saw Trump's face when I heard this earlier, but I didn't see the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Can't tell.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know who that is. You notice he doesn't like to go to the press room. He likes going to these other rooms. Most presidents would go to the press room. You know, Biden would use this room from time to time, but I don't know. He really has an aversion to the press room. You know why I think it is? Why do you think it is? Why do you think?
I think he's putting himself in a powerful position.
100%.
It's much more stately. It's a better look behind. When you're running to the press room, you sound like you're running. You look like you're running to the press.
100%.
He's not going to run to the press. The press has to run to him.
He makes them come to him. Right.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yep.
He gets it. Listen, I doubt there's going to be a Republican that comes after him that understands media presence any better, half as much as he understands.
Mm-hmm. All right. This is, I want to cover this real quick. I know this isn't Washington, but it does involve Washington because it involves the Department of Education, teachers, the government school system. Does a day go by we don't hear about a government school teacher that is, like one lady was made the New York Post the other night. Logan, do you have the picture? The New York Post, the teacher? She just got sentenced to what I've read was 5 years probation. Is there a day that doesn't go by that we don't see a teacher is accused of having sex with a student, or what is called sexting, which is, I guess, where you send inappropriate pictures to a child, minor. This one came up this week. I mean, I don't know why she would do that. What's the headline, Logan? What's the headline of that article? Yeah. Okay, you can read it there. Sending nudes to a student. Okay, is it just me, Jim, or is it almost a daily basis? I'm seeing crazy teachers doing crazy things they shouldn't do. And now we got this teacher, supposed teacher, I guess, who's passed background checks and the whole 9 yards, murdering 2 people in Arkansas. Are you following this story too?
I missed that one. No, that got off my radar.
Logan.
Oh my gosh.
Logan, pull up something on this teacher that just murdered the people in Arkansas. Pull up a news story on that, please. Here he is getting, and we should see his mugshot too. Wow. Here he is getting arrested. He went to get his hair cut. Went on about his life. Here he is getting arrested. Here we go. No audio, but goes in to get his hair cut. And he's going to get arrested here. Now, according to the news reports and the press release and a press conference held today, this was a guy that taught elementary school, I guess moved from a state to another state, which Arkansas. A mom and dad are out with their 2 kids hiking in Arkansas. This guy comes upon them. They said today in the press conference they have no doubt he did it. Apparently he confessed to it. That's what I heard one of the prosecutors say today in the press conference. The parents gave a chance for the kids to get away. And they have 3 children. 2 were with them. And I think this guy's yeah, there you go. Out getting his hair cut.
Amazing. Nonchalant. Like nothing happened.
Now, show us his mugshot there, Logan, please. Yep. Now, does this, I mean, I'm telling you, what is it with the government school teachers? I'm not condemning all of them, but this is obviously, if you look, and I know you do, the pattern of public government school teachers that are in trouble, this was not going on when you and I were in school. This was not going on when you and I were in school. Why do you think we have so many troubled people as public school, government school teachers? I'm not saying it doesn't happen in the private school sector, but it sure seems to be happening in the public school sector. Why?
Well, I mean, since 1963, they took prayer out of schools. Now, it wasn't in every case directly the prayer in public schools. It's that we took God out of the public schools. And why does that matter? Well, listen, you are only going to express God's character in a certain way if you make a true faith commitment to him through Jesus Christ, okay? Now, you can have faith of some sort, and that can be good. I mean, I'd say the Jewish community of the conservative sort, you know, they have a good corpus of rational moral teaching that we share much of with them. So, you know, there a lot of that can feed in. But when you take God out of the schools, what you really do is take the ability to teach a moral certitude, or the fact that there is moral certitude that we do need to reach out and find, and that moral certitude largely comes from God's revelation in Scripture, which, by the way, is not rationalism, but it's a rational treatment of life. Just read Proverbs. I tell young people all the time that have worked for me or elsewhere, I don't care if you're going to claim walking with God or not, you should read a proverb every day. It was the most amazing thing in my life as I went and did this political thing for 30 years, the kind of wisdom that is there, that is timeless, that is rationally sure, and that is morally sound. We've taken all of that out of schools, and we have been in a relativistic culture in haste since the 1960s. It was developing quite a bit in the post-World War II era, but the 1960s, it really came to a head, and this is what we teach in the schools, is moral relativism. In fact, we don't even teach kids that they need to perform or succeed. We allow kids to get by with poor grades, with poor skills. We end up graduating kids who have no rational means to graduate. I remember in the 1990s, as I was getting involved in politics for the first time, there was a guy who had been a former state budget director in Indiana that I knew. His name was Bill Styring, since passed away. And he showed me, because he was writing articles on it, an 8th grade test from Indiana schools, and I think it was 1908. And I think this has kind of made the rounds. Some people probably heard this story. But when you look at the minimum passing material that an 8th grader in Indiana needed to know in 1908, it's astounding. It goes beyond college skills that most people have these days. So because we've gone into this relativistic, irrational, godless approach to education, that's the result that we're getting, not just in the kids, but also in the teachers who were once kids themselves, getting the same thing after a couple generations.
Well said. Well said. All right, here's an article. Look at this. New details emerge after Arkansas couple stabbed to death while hiking with the daughters. I put in the word teachers, Control F. Oh, yeah. Who's a teacher? Let me scroll back to the first one. All right. During a 2024 school year, he was a 5th grade teacher at Spring Creek Elementary School in Oklahoma. A woman whose son was in McGann's class at Spring Creek said he was, quote, awkward around the parents, end quote, and, quote, struggled to make eye contact during parent-teacher conferences, end quote. She said he was, quote, pretty quiet, but all the kids loved him, end quote, including her son. He started a running club for students. They wanted to say that he passed background checks. I read that. He had no problem passing those. In fact, I'll put that in there, background. See what it says, make sure. Yep, there you go. He had passed background checks for his employment in both Oklahoma districts as well as the state education department. So I don't know, but I'll tell you, we have an obviously epidemic problem with what are we hiring for public school teachers, because hardly a day goes by I don't see a public school teacher being arrested for something. And Jim, you and I are about the same age. This just wasn't the kind of thing going on with any regularity when you and I were growing up. Now, was it?
No, that's exactly right. C.S. Lewis addressed a lot of this. I mean, by the way, who do you have to go to that is moral? I mean, this moral teaching is really largely gone. The moral base and skill capability. Morality, by the way, is correlates with excellence. Anybody that claims to walk in the Christian faith that is not also on their face every day in prayer seeking before God to set their lives straight in a brand new way every day is not even walking with Christ. If you have a consistent desire for moral teaching, you will seek moral excellence. And if you seek moral excellence, some of those moral principles like thrift and working hard and doing, it's the Protestant work ethic actually works and really comes from the Bible. It's something that we don't promote anymore because we've said religion is useless in this society. And C.S. Lewis was pointing to this stuff even as far back as the 1930s and 40s. He was watching this drift in the educational system away from excellence, from moral teaching, from the trivium, and I won't get into the details of that, but rhetoric and language. We don't train people with things anymore. But he said in his book, Abolition of Man, where he was making a case for how this was happening, he made this state. He said in a sort of ghastly simplicity, well, let me say this. In a sort of ghastly simplicity, we remove the organ, meaning the organ of morality, and demand the function. We make men without chests and expect of them virtue and enterprise. We laugh at honor and are shocked to find traitors in our midst. We castrate and bid the geldings be fruitful. That's literally what we've done in education for a long time. It's why you can't find these sort of things. It's really a sad state of affairs, and we've come a long way with Trump's election, but that's not enough to change culture entirely. It can affect it very positively. We need a third great awakening in this country. We really do to get through this.
Yep. Now, we not only have obviously problems with the teachers teaching our kids, and I'm not condemning all of them, but we obviously have a problem when we almost on a daily basis, you have a government school, a teacher being arrested somewhere in the country, almost daily. Track it, folks. Just track it. Tell me if you can't find it almost on a daily basis. So it's clearly we're not screening. But again, how could you when you don't screen for worldview, right? You don't screen for, as you're saying, morality. There's no standard, right? When there's no standard, what happens, right? I mean, what can the righteous do, right?
Right.
The Bible says. When the standard,
the foundations are destroyed, what can the righteous do?
That's right. When the foundation's been destroyed, what can the righteous do? Now we come back. It not only seems as though we have a lot of people in the public schools that are unhinged, teaching our kids, but we just have more unhinged people all around. I just stumbled on a video before we went live on the air here that a man slapping a woman in the airport. I want to show you this and ask again, what is happening to the morality on a global scale? We'll be right back with Jim Paff here on World YouTube's Washington Report.
You woke up with a sore throat and a low-grade fever. You know you are getting sick, so here's your choices. You can get sicker and miss work, try to see a doctor this week, or sit hours in a crowded waiting room at urgent care.
I have a smarter option for you. Open your medical emergency kit, match your symptoms to doctor-recommended prescription in your booklet, and take the right meds now and get well faster.
This is not a first aid kit. It's like having an urgent care in your home. It includes doctor-prescribed medications to treat over 39 medical issues like respiratory infections, strep throat, pneumonia, UTIs, and more.
No waiting to see the doctor and no standing in line at the pharmacy. It's right here.
Every home should have at least one medical emergency kit, and here's how to order.
Go to worldviewhealthcare.com. Your kit to treat dozens of common and serious illnesses is rushed to your door. worldviewhealthcare.com. That's worldviewhealthcare.com.
The emergency kit available at worldviewhealthcare.com. Make sure you don't have to go to urgent care. I got pneumonia. I didn't have to go. I took this last year. Stayed at home. Went to bed. WorldViewTube's Washington Report. Check out all the great stuff we have for you at worldviewtube.com/sponsors to help keep this program going, get great products, and help us stay on the air, pushing out all kinds of free content at the same time. worldviewtube.com/sponsors. Okay, before we went on the air, I was just checking the news, and I saw an article where a man slaps a woman in the airport. I guess it's in Colombia. And it, again, begs the question, where is the morality in America and the world? Of course, where is people's brains? I don't know. Watch this. This is disturbing. Here we go.
Well, listen, notice the reaction. People are reacting to it.
Yeah.
They're making him pay.
Let me watch that again. Here we go. Ready? Whoop, I'm back it up.
It's an obscene sight.
What's
what
that?
You're watching there.
There you go.
It's an
Now
obscene sight that you're watching there.
He got arrested. I guess this is in Colombia. Well, you know, again, I'm going to say, almost on a daily basis, we have videos of people doing things unhinged. I mean, I don't think this is a normal thing. Again, that in our society, when you and I were growing up, and other people from years gone by, what were there people doing dumb things, foolish things, illegal things? Absolutely. But it just seems like the world is going crazier and crazier. Now, I know we have more cell phones to videotape and grab this stuff, but come on, you and I, and people even older than us who went back further, where there was just a decorum and a standard, and particularly the way men treated women. But it just seems like I guess Romans 1 says it, a nation and a world of fools, debased, darkened-hearted, foolish people. But to slap a woman sitting down because she's sitting in a seat next to your wife, is it really that important?
I don't want to give our society too much credit in the sense that sin is a fundamental part of human nature. And I obviously some of these sorts of things were happening in private in ways we didn't know. But even still, we had a society that was well informed by the shame of not following substantive truth and moral clarity. And it helped in our society because even if you did do something in private, you were ashamed to do it in public. That public shame is gone. It's not just that we have the camera and the video to show it. It's that people are shameless. Now, it is very encouraging to watch the reaction there because people made this guy pay a price for it and eventually got the police there. And it really, the change here, what it really takes is people of goodwill to just decide to stand up to these things, to not just let people walk by. I mean, that shooter in New York, there were people on the street as he's brandishing a semi-automatic rifle, walking in to the building that had the NFL headquarters in it and start shooting at people. Somebody could have done something leading up to that point. And maybe I mean, I don't know. I mean, people watch these things go by and they don't do anything about it.
You're exactly right.
That's
you
changing.
You and I did not rehearse this. And you were saying exactly what was going to be my point tonight as well. And you've already jumped me on it, which is great because it means you and I are thinking alike. We're seeing the same problems. Neither one of us is making this up. You're saying the same thing, which is we have people that are being beat up in public here in America or who are in harm's way, and people are filming it instead of helping. They are walking by, doing it. They don't want to get involved. And the other night, apparently, when people are being beat down in Ohio, nobody was calling 911.
No.
No one saw it and said, we didn't get the police here, 911. I mean, the officials were complaining that nobody called us.
Well, and I saw reports of people saying that, well, that guy was doing something or other to the people that ended up beating him up. But when you let the story flesh itself out, no, he was confronting him because he was confronted. And this group of black people in this particular instance decided that they had a right to go after this white person. It's a rancid racism that is.
And I was one of those people that wanted the facts to come out because I thought, okay, it's late at night.
Yeah.
Did they come from a bar? Are people intoxicated on one side or the other? Did someone throw a racial slur that doesn't justify a beatdown? But I want all the facts before it's just, because I know some people were sending this to me and wanting to make it look, the blacks are just targeting whites. And I'm like, okay, if that's the story, then we'll report it. But I want to know all the facts. Was it just a targeting, or did someone have too much to drink and there was some kind of altercation or disagreement? Someone spouted a slur and boom, it got out of hand. I want all the facts. Now you're telling me the facts have come out. What are they?
Well, no, I haven't seen all the facts, but I saw one report that said that there was a confrontation between them on the street verbally before this happened. But there had been someone claiming that was started by the white guy, and apparently it was started or encouraged by the black guy. But again, there's still some more information coming out in relationship to that. So I don't have everything yet, but I am saying this, and I want to make this point, 2 points. The first thing is there are black people in this country, and I'm not saying all black people are this way. There are some try to make it that way, and I think that's obscene. But there are black people in this country who believe that they have a right, almost a reparations style right, to go and beat up on white people. And they feel that they have a right to do that because of what they perceive to be past harms that white people are guilty of. It's all part of the DEI thing.
That's being encouraged. That's being encouraged
kind of
and indoctrinated into people, right?
That's right. And now, secondly, I cannot repeat enough. 6,000 years of recorded human history proves the radical corruption of mankind. That we have a basic problem. This is an opportunity, in my opinion, to just talk about the grace that is in Jesus Christ and the opportunity for a changed mind and heart. Yep. The church needs to assert that in a very serious way.
But the church, unfortunately, largely is teaching the same victimization, right? You got people like the guy at the church there, Lon Solomon's old church, David Platt, teaching white privilege. You got the guy down in Texas doing the same thing. The same group of people teaching white privilege. I have white privilege.
Well,
it's an unseen racism.
We were also seeing it from the Ethics and Religious Liberty Commission of the Southern Baptist Convention.
That's right.
And Brent Leatherwood, who's been running it and picked up what Russell Moore was doing, both of them with rancid ideas of culture, unchristian ideas about how to engage with culture. He's gone now, and that progressive ideology has a chance to change. But that it is organizations like that got hijacked, like people like Russell Moore, who now runs Christianity Today and has made it a progressive Christian mouthpiece, that it does not express anything of reality in it. There are some institutions that have been taken up, but we need to assert the freedom and grace that is available in the gospel, but Christians also need to live according to that gospel as well, and according to God's kingdom, because we are supposed to pray, your kingdom come, your will be done. And it's not like you have to have a particular kind of a Christian nationalism. What you need is Christians nationally to be Christians, and that will happen. And to live the kingdom of God in their lives. We need a lot more of that, and this is an opportunity, the shift that we've recently had politically, because there were political forces shutting that down, and shutting down the public expression of that faith. And we need to make sure that we maintain what Donald Trump has reversed from those government efforts.
Stop letting these religious mouthpieces teach the victimization lie over and over and over.
And for everyone who has not read Megan Basham's book, Shepherds for Sale, you need to read the book. It outlines a lot of where the money's going in to changing these things, where DEI and climate change, a disaster policy was pushed through the church. She documents it. I'm acquainted with Megan. She's fantastic. You need to definitely see what that is. That's just a beginning primer. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah. And Marxianity, my book from 2018, goes into a lot of that. Marxianity, get it for free. You don't have to buy it. If you're a member of our vault, it's there. All right. President Trump's bringing back athletics or fitness training or something fitness test in the schools. Listen.
We have a lot of athletic talent and great people behind me. And they're going to do some very important things for our country. Nobody knows LT, right? LT, greatest ever. Lawrence Taylor, you look good. You could play right now, I think, LT. You only look that way. Well, I'm delighted to be here with some of the truly great sports legends of all time as we formally announce the newest members of the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition.
Okay, so if you go over to the website of the White House, they are announcing, as he just said, this new program, President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition, and the reestablishment of the Presidential Fitness Test. Oh, boy. I don't know what it would take to pass the test, but I don't know if I would pass it. But I know. I know John F. Kennedy was big on this. Remember that? Yeah,
it really began in Eisenhower's administration. Kennedy pressed it very much as well. It was actually a good effort. I'm not sure that very much money was ever expended to do it. Just the influence of the White House and the encouragement from the president, the commission that the president sets up to do that. It was a voluntary commission always. I didn't see the particulars of this setup, but I presume it's the same. And that's very useful to get that information out to people. You can go the wrong way with it, like we did with the food pyramid, which is useless. But this was always very helpful. You and I both, as kids in our physical fitness programs, we had this in front of us.
And we did.
There were good goals. This is more needed now than ever because kids do not do physical activity, even obesity, like we accidentally did when we were kids.
Obesity, chronic disease, right? Poor nutrition. Of course, it does impact our economy with our healthcare costs, but military readiness. So few kids can even get into the military because they can't pass the physical fitness part, the health part, right? So this is very interesting today.
Well, and before we run out of time, I want to shift to something here that we haven't talked about, but is really critical. The Durham Annex files have been rolled out, and we now have potentially smoking gun evidence of George Soros' involvement with Hillary Clinton to urge the FBI, the CIA, and Barack Obama to undertake this effort to take down Donald Trump, both in the 2016 election and to hamper his administration thereafter. This is hard evidence. We have the goods. It's more and more coming out. And you and I kind of wrung our hands a little bit about the Epstein files a while back, and I think there's still concerns there.
Right.
But as I've been saying, this is the key stuff.
Here's one. Here, let me get this clip in. Let's get this clip in. Here we go, Logan. Here we go.
A total bombshell today on this Russiagate hoax that gripped the nation for a few years and helped sideline a presidency by the Democrats. Documents revealed today with the cooperation of Chairman Grassley and the FBI reveal that the Open Society Network and Leonard Bernardo worked with Hillary Clinton to create this whole scam, okay? So this critical infrastructure narrative that was used not only to justify the Steele dossier, which then allowed the President Obama to spy on a presidential candidate Donald Trump, was also the predicate then in 2021, because of this Russia hoax, for Joe Biden to censor Americans. This whole thing stinks to high heaven. It starts in 2016, spying on Trump. They then...
Yep, you got that right. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Tonight on the Worldview Report, new developments in the Epstein saga that place President Trump right in the crosshairs. The president threatens martial law against cities and suggests he might arrest mayors who refuse to cooperate with his immigration policies. And the Trump administration is also pushing for an initiative for millions of Americans to upload their personal health data and medical records on new apps run by private tech companies. We'll explain why privacy advocates are pushing back. The Federal Reserve refuses, once again, to lower interest rates. The Department of Transportation releases a list of the biggest boondoggles siphoning billions of your tax dollars into